Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Squills here, back with another video, and today I am going to be going over the top 5 things that you need to stop doing right now in Rainbow Six Siege. These are some common mistakes that I've noticed throughout all ranks, even the ones that I play at, some of the highest ranks in the game, and these are just mistakes that I just think you should be aware of and that you should try to work on fixing. A lot of these things are super simple fixes, so just being aware of them should allow you to tidy them up, and a lot of these can and probably often do get you killed. So if you fix these, your KD will go up and you will start winning more games. Either way, let's just get right into it. Number 1 is punching barricades or spraying them down in one magazine. Both of these are two of the absolute worst ways of taking down a barricade, unless of course you already have previous knowledge that the room in front of you is clear. Now, why are both of these bad? Well, punching down a barricade is bad because it gives you away your exact location. There is no other place you can be to punch a barricade other than standing right next to said barricade. And spraying down a barricade in one magazine will often leave you with almost none or literally no bullets left in your gun, and this makes you extremely vulnerable to people swinging a barricade. I know for myself, if I'm ever playing close to a barricade as a defender and I hear a attacker spray down a barricade in one magazine, I am immediately going to peek that and see if I can get myself a free kill, and other people definitely do this too. Instead, what you want to do is use about a half a magazine to spray down a barricade. And it takes about 20 bullets, so it does take 20 bullets to spray down one barricade. So what you want to do is try to put about close to 20 bullets, maybe like 17, 18 roughly bullets into the barricade. Then get on your drone out the few rooms if you are droning yourself in, and then quickly before you enter, after of course having reloaded, you spray those last couple bullets into the barricade just to break it down and make a quick entry into the map. This will help you enter faster after you gather your intel, and it'll also make you safer because again, you are not exposed to any enemies swinging you immediately after dumping your entire mag. Number 2 is placing your barbed wire and your traps in places where they don't really do much of anything. Now, this is a tip that I've definitely heard before, but it's one that I see people doing wrong all the time, like in every single game. Placing a barbed wire in a doorway, like in the middle of the doorway, is horrible because it allows enemies to kind of walk up to the doorway, stand off to the side of the doorway from outside of the room that presumably you would be playing in, and punch the barbed wire from a very safe distance. This is obviously bad because essentially you're just giving away that piece of barbed wire for free, and same with traps. If you allow an enemy to hit a trap, like activate it, or in the case of like a thorn trap or like a Malusi gadget, something like that, or if you allow them to shoot a trap before they make themselves vulnerable, that is a huge mistake. The way you want to think about deploying barbed wires and traps is you want to force the enemies to make themselves vulnerable, put themselves in a position where they are out in the open and cannot easily get back to cover. And that way, when you get the info off of said trap or barbed wire, when the enemy activates them or starts walking through them, that they are kind of out in the open and able to be swung for an easy kill. If you put them in places where the enemy can destroy them from safety, you're essentially just going to waste them, and while it will still give you intel, it's not going to get you those free kills that you're looking for from these gadgets. Tip number 3 is sitting still when you are playing a rappel. Now, obviously, there are different ways to play a rappel, and different things work in different situations, but in general, if you are holding down a rappel that is being actively contested by a defender, aka if you are on a window where enemies are kind of running around in front of that window and might be challenging you, you never want to be sitting still because this makes you an absolute sitting duck. Even if you're upside down, which is admittedly safer than going to the bottom of the window, it is extremely easy to kind of swing onto you and pre-fire you while you're on a window because, again, you're sitting still and you are pretty vulnerable because the enemies know roughly where you are. You are somewhere repelled on that window. The best way, in my experience, to play rappels is to use a lot of movement. Because you are on rappel, you are able to move extremely smoothly, much more smoothly than if you were standing up, while making less noise. So take advantage of this. Switch your stance every once in a while, upside down, and to the go to the bottom of the window and move yourself back and forth, and this will make you a much harder target to hit, because if you're doing the rappel right, only your head will be exposed, and this will allow you to win so many more gunfights while you are on rappel. Common mistake number 4 is something that frustrates me absolutely to no end, and this is opening an important breach onto a site and then just sitting at it and holding angles. This is such an absolute waste, because essentially what you're doing is just making yourself a target while doing absolutely nothing. People overestimate how safe they actually are when sitting on any breach. There are very, very few, maps or walls that you can sit outside of and be perfectly safe. And so what a lot of people will do is they'll open a breach, say, on Clubhouse CCTV. They'll open the CCTV breach and simply sit outside. And this not only makes you a sitting duck for swinging defenders, but it also accomplishes absolutely nothing. A smart defender will never, ever swing out onto the breach unless they have what they consider to be a favorable gunfight, which will usually end poorly for you. And you're not really actively taking any kind of map control, which means you're essentially just wasting time. It is very enticing, especially if you have angles directly into the site, to sit and watch them in anticipation of getting a kill. But a lot of times it's honestly better, even if you have nobody sitting at the breach, to make your breach and then go try to take other helpful map control somewhere else, and then if you want to come back to that breach later in the round to hold an important crossfire. Again, you are just wasting time if you stay at the breaches that you make early in the round. So just stop, go somewhere else, take other map control, and then maybe come back and you can get your free kills. And finally, common mistake number 5 is using all of your operator's gadgetry in the objective site and not using any gadgets outside of the site to help you with a roam. There are obviously certain exceptions to this. There are certain operators that people kind of generally know to use off-site, but I see it way too often that a lot of players, especially with set and forget operators, that will just drop all their gadgets at random places in sight and then go off on a solo roam. This can be good if you're just kind of playing like more of a lurk role, but a lot of times, and especially on certain maps that require you to hold down important rooms near the bomb site, you want to be spreading that gadgetry off-site to help you actually hard hold down some of these rooms that are off-site. And a lot of times it will make you super, super vulnerable to enemy pushes if you don't have things like ADSs, traps, barbed wires, or important intel gadgets like bulletproof cameras, Valkyrie cameras, etc. to help you out. So definitely consider moving some of your gadgetry or placing some of your gadgets off-site to help you or a teammate hold an important room off-site, rather than just dropping all of your gadgets in-site and then just kind of running around the map. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed and learned something from this video. These are just kind of things that you can think about and correct if you happen to notice yourself doing them in matches. And if you put all of these together, you will certainly see a major improvement in your game. You'll get more kills, you'll be dying less for free, and probably you will be less tilted, because some of these things like dying off of a rappel or dying while you are trying to shoot down a barricade can be very, very frustrating. But with that being said, if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and drop a comment down in the comment section. I read and respond to all the comments, so you will not be left out if you drop me a comment, and I really do appreciate it. Either way, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.